Welcome guys, Gav1442 here, Darth Gav1442 on YouTube. Um, just wanted to share with you a Sith raid run I had the other day using only Sith Eternal Emperor requirements as the characters. So this composition features Stark, Tarkin, Thrawn, Piet, and Veers. Obviously Veers with the lead. The key components of this run are actually just the three Imperial troopers and Thrawn. Tarkin as the fifth is somewhat interchangeable. You could use Vader, you could probably use Krennic, but I prefer Tarkin because Vader has utility elsewhere in the raid, and because you're probably going to gear up Tarkin before you gear up Krennic when you're going after Sith Eternal Emperor. Um, Finally, Tarkin also has his AoE special that really does pair quite well with Emperor's Trap. The damage for the special is based on potency, and stacks of Emperor's Trap will give you additional potency as those stacks increase. So Tarkin as a fifth, probably, in my opinion, your best choice, but you can mess with that however you want. Um, So the way that this run works is you are going to get your turn meter going with your Imperial troopers off the bat to knock out all three lightsabers, and then you're going to fracture Traya with Thrawn, and you're going to mark Thrawn with Piet. The reason you're going to fracture Traya is that this is going to put uh, Thrawn into a state of constantly countering, right? He's going to have 100% counter chance once you have the ebb and flow Zeta. And then marking Thrawn with Piet means that the lightsabers will always attack Thrawn, right? So at Relic 6, Thrawn hits pretty hard. As long as you can land a single crit hit, you're going to be good to go. Um, Basically, the whole point of this is that as long as Thrawn takes out one of those lightsabers, Veer's unique, which is going to give 50% turn meter to Imperial troopers when an enemy is defeated, is going to get all of your Imperial troopers out ahead of Traya. So when she comes out of topple, the lightsaber attacks, Thrawn knocks out the lightsaber, you're going to be back in control before Traya can isolate. So let's get started. First, the standard start, you're going to get your buffs for a little bit of turn meter. You're not going to mark Thrawn yet because we're going to want to make sure we get those lightsabers out ASAP, like we're about to do here, any minute now. But there we go. Then AoE just to get some damage and topple Traya. So now, fracture. There we go. And then we're going to mark, and we can start hitting. So now, basically, you're just going to wail away at Traya. The only thing really to be concerned about here is keeping an eye on Thrawn's turn meter, right? So every once in a while, you're going to want to use a special so that we peel back a little bit more of that turn meter every time. Your three Imperial troopers are going to get way more turns than Thrawn and Tarkin, Thrawn and Vader, whatever you want to do. And that's going to be because of Emperor's Trap stacking buffs and really amping up that turn meter. So you should be able to fairly consistently keep an eye on Thrawn's turn meter and use specials as required. So now Traya is up, right? So Treya's up. We're going to go back to normal playback speed. Give me 1 second. Normal playback speed. Thrawn is countering, right? So I haven't knocked out anything yet, and we're going to play that again. But take a look at the turn meter. So this is why it's important. This is right here is why it's important to mark Thrawn and have that fracture. So attacking, look at the turn meter. Not a ton on Stark, not a ton on Veers. Piet's almost full because I believe he gets turn meter whenever an Imperial ally is damaged. But the other two, not a ton, right? So Thrawn counters. Neither of these are crits. I didn't kill, but here we get the kill, and the turn meter's now full, right? Turn meter's full. That's the key piece here. So not only have you taken out a lightsaber, so at least 1/3 of the sabers you need to take out to retopple Traya, but you've also amped up that turn meter and gotten back ahead of Traya to avoid the isolate, right? So now we can take out one saber or both sabers in this case with an AoE. Treya's toppled again, hasn't isolated. We've already done 10% damage. So we can then start wailing away as we were before and just absolutely um, stack up damage, right? So we're going to wail away. Same idea, just absolutely getting after it. Keeping an eye on Thrawn's turn meter, using those second specials, but for a lot of it, you're going to be just fine without worrying about it like explicitly, but just be mindful. Here, Tarkin just hit 66 stacks of Emperor's Trap. Tarkin just hit for 286,000, I think it was, without a critical. So again, Thrawn doing the same idea, switching the playback back to normal for a second, just to really drive this point home. But bang, there, turn meters back. We're going to play that one more time, and then we're going to speed through the rest of it. So everything's up. Turn meter is not super fantastic on any of our friends here. Thrawn's going to counter, doesn't get the kill, and does. So this will be more reliable if you add more crit chance to Thrawn via mods. I just left the same mods I had on before this. I didn't move anything for this run just to show how repeatable and how doable this was. But look, so we took that out, so we got all our turn meter back. We're taking it out, and Treya's back under topple. We're already a quarter of the way through health. She's only taken 2 quote unquote turns, and you're still just able to wail away at her. It's really quite consistent. Really quite consistent. And now we are just going to speed along. There we go. We're chipping away, consistently doing it. We got all the way down to, 4%, 6% here. There it is. Just absolutely knocking health down. Note that Trey is still 7 turns away from Enrage, right? So we sped through this. It's only happened 6, 7 times so far. Thrawn took out the first saber. As you can see, as Traya stacks, I believe it's Bonds of Weakness, come into play, we do lose health, but none of that is really actual damage, right? It's self-inflicted. So you're not necessarily going to die with this. We should be able to get that last 4% while she's under topple and get out of phase 3. So at this point, Sith Eternal Emperor requirements only, we have soloed phase 3, right? She's toppled. We'll get that last 4%. We're good to go. I'm going to speed through it. There we go. Chipping away. And there. Trey is down. At this point, I don't want to put too much more damage up. I do want to give my guild members some some damage to play with. So I'm basically just going to throw this on auto. Throw it on auto. We're going to do a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy. Sorry about that. Nothing crazy. And that should basically do it. Piet, because of all of the inevitable failure stacks, is going to be pretty bulky. He's going to do some damage, but Nihilus will eventually annihilate. There it is. So this is the damage we're looking at. 41 million using only Sith Eternal Emperor requirements. Yes, I know clones can do this. If you bridge in from phase 2, there's Anakin with Night Sisters. There's a full Imperial Troopers team. Those are all fantastic options if you have them. But if you're starting a new account or, haven't gone the route of a full Imperial Troopers team yet, this is a budget way to put up big damage. Note that yes, these 5 characters are at their max requirements for Sith Eternal Emperor, so maybe these are 5 characters you want to go after early in your Sith Eternal Emperor farm. But being able to put up this huge damage is going to allow you to score quite respectably in the Heroic Sith raid, get a lot of those high value gear chests, which will allow you to get your characters to relic faster and get Sith Eternal Emperor faster, right? So this composition is specifically to allow you to focus intently on the Sith Eternal Emperor requirements without having to really go anywhere else for it. So now we're going to hop into checking out mods. Give me just a second to bring up my characters. And it's time to take a look at the mods. As mentioned previously, my mods are not overly amazing for these characters. Once again, did not change any mods for this run. And we're going to start with Veers. So as you can see, you have Veers maxed out, have the Zeta on his leadership, which is obviously important given that we're going to get an extra 10% turn meter whenever they gain a buff, which pairs very well with Emperor's Trap. But the biggest thing here, and once again, the reason that we're marking Thrawn so he gets those counters, is with Aggressive Tactician, Imperial Trooper allies will gain 50% turn meter whenever an enemy is defeated, and this includes those lightsabers. So Thrawn counters, kills the lightsabers, and again, we get out in front of Traya. For the mods, speed's 255, not crazy, reasonable health and protection, nothing absurd. Not a ton of damage either, honestly. Very, very achievable. Very achievable. 255 speed. These are 5 dot mods. They're not even 6 dot. Not even all gold. Veers really here to bring in that leadership and that unique. Next is Thrawn. You're going to need that Zeta on ebb and flow, and that is for the 50% counter chance, which brings you to 100% counter chance and means you'll always counter those lightsabers. Also keep in mind that with ebb and flow, when you use a special, Thrawn's turn meter is going to be reduced, and that's just so that we can ensure that we keep Traya fractured the entire time. These mods, he's somewhat fast, I suppose, 275. Sitting at about 110,000 combined health and protection, with physical offense of 5,000 and special offense of 8,367. Special offense obviously being what's important with Manipulate, as we're dealing special damage. But his offense wasn't outrageous and was still able to more or less one-shot the lightsabers on a critical at Relic 6. So as you can see, if I look at the triangle, we don't have crit damage, we don't have crit chance on the primary stat, so you could probably optimize there a little bit more. And it's actually a tenacity tenacity primary on the cross, not offense, and we're still able to do solid damage. So again, these mods quite achievable, if not something that is fairly easy to improve upon. Next, we'll look at Stark. Stark's the fastest of the bunch at, I believe, 299. Yep, 299. Again, about 100,000 combined health and protection. Offense, not too outrageous by any means. Again, he's really modded for speed. You do not need the Zeta. And you can get, the utility that you need out of him, especially with scan all wavelengths, which is really his big contribution. Piet, you need Emperor's Trap, no questions asked. You get that extra 6% offense and potency per stack, which really, really ramps up your damage. And it's also why I like using Tarkin here. Getting 60 stacks of Emperor's Trap with plus 6% potency does make that AoE hit pretty hard. It is a fantastic, fantastic Zeta to have. Again, no 6-dot mods here. We're looking at 75,000 protection, almost 50,000 health, 275 speed, and his physical offense, not outrageous whatsoever. Again, when he uses his primary or basic attack, allies with inevitable failure will be called. So Thrawn's going to be called, and he's going to hit a lot. Thrawn is going to carry a lot of the damage in this raid. Last but not least, Grand Moff Tarkin. Don't need either of the Zetas. I've modded mainly for potency, and that's due to ultimate firepower, having offense equal to Tarkin's, double Tarkin's potency percentage, right? So with that 60 stacks of Emperor's Trap and my own base potency, which is fairly solid, he's hitting pretty hard. Speed 228, nothing crazy. And that's really it, guys. As I said, these mods are for the most part achievable. I have a few 6-dot mods here, but they're not exactly fantastic ones. They're ones that I sliced the 6-dot early on before really knowing entirely what I was doing, if I'm being honest with you. But that's pretty much it. So just a quick recap of the strategy. Step 1, scan all wavelengths, get those buffs on your allies. Step 2, don't mark anybody, knock out the lightsabers, get Traya toppled. Step 3, fracture Traya with Thrawn so that you get your counter chance. Step 4, mark Thrawn so the lightsabers hit him so that he can counter. Step 5, keep him under fracture. Kill lightsabers whenever Traya comes out of topple. Step 6, solo phase 3. Good luck, guys. I hope this helps some people out there, especially those of you that are going for Sith Eternal Emperor early on and may not have clones, Imperial Troopers, JKR, other teams that would help you to put up big numbers in Heroic Sith Raid. If I missed anything, if there's any fine-tuning that you would like me to know about, please add it to the comments below. That'll help me out. That will help anybody else out who is viewing this video, and I'm always looking forward to learning new things about this game. So again, hope this helps people. Good luck with your farms. Good luck with Sith Eternal Emperor. He is fun, albeit not overly useful in raids himself. But that's it. You can catch me on Twitch at Gav1442. There will be a link in the description below. I run GAX fairly consistently. They're a good time. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.